Well, hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 4 of Winter Fragments. Well, last time, guys, we were in the middle of a conversation of Saku and Chi talking about making a game. So here we go. Okie dokie, let's give this a whirl. It sounds like fun. I do have a few doubts though. What doubts? Such as, I like reading Otome games but never thought about writing stuff myself. I wonder if there's anybody out there who'd be interested. I'm interested in your stories, Chi says. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have suggested that we work together on one, which is true. Well, that's very nice of you. Ah, geez, now it looks like my turn to blush. Look at her blushing. But what if nobody else cares about my writing? It doesn't matter because I care. You won't be working on this alone, I guess. So, an Otome game? If we're seriously going to work on this, we need to think of a story. Where should we set it? You think? This is a good question. School settings are very popular. We could try that. We could try, yeah, but aren't they too popular? Heaps of Otome games are set in schools. It'll be hard to stand out that way, even if you do like my writing. You're putting your faith in me. I don't want to bore you with yet another generic high school drama. I'd be happy. I happen to be fond of high school drama, says Chi. Me too, but you can't deny that market's oversaturated. Why don't we go with something a bit more fantastical, such as here's my voice petering out along with my enthusiasm. Where do I want to set this story exactly? Honestly, I have no idea. For a wannabe writer, this is the most auspicious of the beginning, most auspicious of beginnings. I'm sorry, G. I wasn't trying to think of something. I was trying to think of something cool, but there's nothing came to me. I'm flat out of inspiration. Then let's go with that school setting. That's why I suggested it. But that's way too simple. Simple is best. And that's true. Simple is best, guys. You have to do simple sometimes, and simple is always the way to go. But there's no buts. I'm making an executive decision here. High school or bust. But I'm the writer, and I'm your best friend. Not to mention your creative collaborator, and I know how your mind works. You always overthink the little things. If we go for the fantasy setting, you'll spend the next 2 weeks plotting out the finer details of the world, and you'll never get around to writing any of it. That's not what I want. What we want now, is it? Well, Saku. Ah, geez, Chi's voice is starting to sound all steely. I think I'm starting to PO her off. I suppose I have no choice but to capitulate. Okay. Let's go with a high school setting after all. It should be easier to work with. Hee. I know you see it my way. I didn't have much of a choice. Please don't sulk. It's unbecoming. Of what? A lady? I don't go to St. Cecilia. Remember, I'm not a well-mannered mademoiselle like yourself. No, you're certainly not. You can be supremely irritating when you want to be, but I'm willing to overlook that for the sake of our friendship. I could say the same about you, you know. Then we're even. Now let's not bicker before we're even begun to work. It doesn't bode well for the rest of the game. If we want to make something good, well, semi-decent, then we'll have to work together. Alright, you raised a good point. I'm sorry, Chi. I'll try to be a bit more mature. That's cool of her. And I'll try to avoid being so overbearing. Really? You can do that? I don't know, but I believe you. Hey, Saku. Knock it off. You're acting like a child again. Everybody acts like a child compared to you, Your Highness. But sorry, that's my bad. I'll do better next time. Please do. or our collaboration will be an uncomfortable one. Now about that setting. Well, we're going to go with a school, right? I think that would be for the best, yes. But for what kind of school? A public one, a private? Do you have any preferences? I don't know all of that much about private schools, but I think that sounds nice. It could be a classy, expensive academy for the elite, just like St. Cecilia's. St. Cecilia's isn't that fancy. How can you say that when the building's so big? There is this big iron gate, and it makes it made of red bricks, and it even has its own chapel. It's like something from a Victorian London town. Alright, maybe a building itself is a bit ostentatious, a bit, she says, but the lessons themselves aren't much different to ones in Hitoshuba. Maybe not in terms of content, but your parents have got to pay a heck of a lot for the privilege. You don't realize how lucky you are, Chi. I don't know. I don't know if I'm all that fortunate. St. Cecilia is a nice school, but I think I would have preferred to go to Hitoshiba with you. Huh? Are you being serious? I'm always serious. I have new classmates now, of course, but they're not quite the same as you. Oh, blushing again. Look at her. She's blushing, and they're both blushing, I think. I miss eating lunch with you and reading your stories. It's easier to be myself, I suppose, when we're together. I don't have to put on a front. Chi's voice trails away. She sighs, her lips. She is wearing gloss, pursed. Not to imply that you're perfect, but you're not. Don't get carried away. As if I could. We might be best friends, but I can always rely on you to put me in my place. You're even stricter than my mother is. I only see these things because I care about you. That's what my mother says too, whenever she scolds me. Evidently, she didn't scold you enough. She can't have done a bad job raising me though, cause you still like me. I don't know you miss me so much, Chi. That's like super sweet. And I think she's blushing a little bit too. Oh, shut up. Chi pulls a face while I giggle. The atmosphere is lightened considerably after our dispute, if it can even be called that. Our personalities and our values might be opposite, but it's rare Chi and I argue, not properly at least. We tease one another all the time, but we're blunt. We blunt our words just enough to avoid any bruised feelings. We've even known one another for so long, we know exactly how much we can push each other before things go a step too far. That's kind of like brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? You know exactly how far to go to push your brother or sister's buttons before you go to full-scale war and you're throwing stuff at each other or breaking something that, you didn't want to break at the time, guys? So, growing up myself with my little brother, we got into arguments, but like we said, sometimes it came to blows, sometimes it was just words, just enough to sting, but not, break the skin, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think I can see where she was coming from just now. I find it easier to be myself when I'm with her too. So, to get back to the matter at hand, we seem to be going off on a lot of tangents. It makes it quite hard to plan out our infant story. I think I'm leaning towards a private school. It gives the setting a bit of extra flair. That, and I can see it as an opportunity to extricate more info from Chi about the inner workings of St. Cecilia. It's a classic case of two birds, one stone. That's okay. Alright, that sounds good to me. And what about the heroine? She could be a student, of course, maybe a first year, I wonder what the school uniform should look like. If she's a student at a private school, it should be something refined, preferably with a long skirt. It's hard to make long skirts look cute though, and I don't want her to be too plain Jane. Are Tone Game's heroines meant to be on the unremarkable side? It makes it easier for the reader to picture themselves in her shoes. That makes sense, I guess. I'm not a lady, of course, as you can tell. That's true, yeah. But if we're gonna self-insert, though, you'd want to end up in a nicer pair of shoes, wouldn't you? That's true. I mean, if I was writing the game, guys, I would be plain. I don't have, you know, $150 pants and $200 sneakers, you know, that I wear. You know what I mean? I buy like the cheap stuff. You know what I mean? Good pair of jeans, but cheap stuff nonetheless. Nobody wants to be an utterly blank slate. I agree with you there. As long as the story will be set in a school, our heroine will be wearing this uniform during the majority of her scenes. So, let me see. She pivots in her chair and selects a sketchbook from the pile on her desk. She flips it open, picking up a pencil, and dashes off a quick sketch. I'm curious about the fruit of Chi's labors, but decide to stay put for the present. She doesn't like when I peer over her shoulders. We know this now, girl. We know this already. While she's drawing, she says it's distracting her. Well, I kind of figure from Chi's personality that's what she would say. I don't always do what she asks, but I pay this quirk of her a special attention. I'm a creator too, and I find it impossible to write when I'm being stared at. That is, partially when I have such difficulty working when I'm in class. Through the lion's share of this difficulty can be attributed to my inability to pay attention. Tee and star right there. Not sure what the star means. Maybe that's a save point. A couple of minutes pass. The scribblings of Chi's pen against paper, the only sound I can hear. Chi herself remains hunched over her sketchbook, her dark hair cascading over her shoulders. I can't imagine having that hair that long. My current do, which brushes my shoulders when worn down, is a pain enough to dry as it is. If I were in Chi's shoes, I'd be pretty frustrated by all that loose hair, but she doesn't even pause to brush it aside. She really must be into her drawing. I guess I kill the time by thinking up more ideas. I'm in the middle of brainstorming a backstory for our nameless heroine when she sets her pencil down. Here. She takes her sketchbook in both hands, swivels in her chair to face me. What do you think? Let me see. We're gonna see the picture. I'll lean forward and examine Chi's handiwork. She designed not just one, but 3 school uniforms. There are different styles and they're all charming, but without being overly designed. A ribbon here, a sash there. Her sketches are rough, obviously unfinished, with thin and wispy lines, but look good regardless. They're far better than anything I could draw. They're really good, Chi. Do you think so? Yeah, I love to wear any of these uniforms. I think my favorite is this one. I point to the second uniform after some deliberation. The puffy sleeves are really cute, so is the belt around the waist. It really ties in the whole thing together. It kind of looks like the same uniform, actually. That's what I based it on. Yes, I thought you might like it, given how complimentary you are about it. Oh, she likes the dress. I am? Yes, you are. You were so taken with the uniform, you practically had a nosebleed when you first saw me wearing it. Hee, guilty as charged. I just can't help myself. That red skirt is so much nicer than Hito Shuba's boring getup. Not that it suits me. What do you say? I'm not a young lady. Duh. I don't know what you're so hung up about that. I'm sure you would like to look fine in my uniform. I would offer to let you try it on if you really want to. But we need to focus on our heroine first. True. little sign. I forget what that's called. So here is the uniform taken care of. I might do a few more adjustments, but we can put that on the back burner for now. Alright, now it feels like we're really making progress. We're getting a setting and the heroine's base design. So now I guess we need to name a name. What should we call her? And guys, I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to save it. I'm going to drop a save on number 2 here. Yes, I want to overwrite. And guys, I hope that you are enjoying this episode. I'm enjoying this story so far. I like the dynamic between Chi and Saku, like best friends, like sisters, brothers and sisters, like my family, my brother and me, kind of like that dynamic. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, of course, hit that like button. As always, if you're new to this space here on YouTube, I'm Average Will. Nice to meet you. Subscribe below if you want more videos, to see more videos of mine. I mean, yeah, I know how to speak. And share this video, guys, out there with friends who like visual novels, because I like reading them. I've done a couple of them on the channel here. I'll leave the card at the end here so you can take a look at it. And guys, please stay safe out there, and I will see you in another episode of Winter Fragments. Alright guys, take care. Bye bye.